I'm going to say good evening. Welcome to Inside the Zone. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Hey, Glen. Blessings. Welcome.
Hi there, Miss Dan.
Yes. You see him come with the Miss Den. That's his name for me, you know. Hey,
Miss
Glen.
Dan.
I tell you that Miss Den.
Lady Dan, man.
Oh,
Lady
my
D.
You're locked on to the number
All right,
one
stay
radio
with me.
station.
Don't go
Number one radio station.
They play the best music.
Number one. The best music. For your listening pleasure.
Linkage Radio, come to rule. And we have the angle, the tackle, and we have the tool. Yeah, man, Sanchez, keep it locked. Linkage.
There are radio stations with
Alrighty, Glenn, we lost him, but he'll call me back in a few minutes. So, did you all know they call me all kinds of names? Lady D, Miss. It doesn't sound like him, right, Timbo? It's him, though. Lady D, Miss Den, Gomez, Gomes, Booksy. I have all kinds of names. I can't tell you how I end up with all these names, but anyway. Glenn, welcome back.
Hello.
Yes, welcome back. We had a mild interruption, but we're good now. How are you? How are you?
I am doing great. How about you?
I am well. It's cold today, not gonna lie, but I'm fine.
We're getting a little cool down here now.
Getting a little
Nice
cool.
and sweet.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my featured interview this evening with Glen Johnson. He hails from Jamaica, but right now he's speaking to us from out of Nassau, Bahamas, and we are geared to talk about his excellence. I mean, Glen has journeyed a long way musically. He has journeyed from several communities away from where I met him as a child. I went to Penance when I was 7. When I got there, he was already there. But Glenn, go ahead, say your hellos, and we'll start talking.
Well, hello to everybody in Radio Land. Those of you who know me, those of you who don't know me, a very good evening to all of you. And tonight I want to share my journey with you as to how God took me from where he took me from up to this point. So I hope you will be blessed and someone will be encouraged by my journey.
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. What have I coined this segment? I tell you, I was saying to myself, I wonder if Glenn saw what I posted because when I was, posting the picture that you sent of me, I'm like, what am I going to call this segment? And then I'm like, oh, yes, I know exactly. Gifted Fingers Touching Lives, and you've done just that.
Wow.
Take us on the journey, Collington. Anybody from Clarendon out there who know about Collington? If you know about Collington, we can talk. I've never been to Collington, but Glenn, that's where you started with Collington.
I kept telling my wife, as she's from St. Andrew, that where I am from is not even on the map of Jamaica. It's so remote, you wouldn't even find it.
Yes.
But she proved me wrong. She went on and found the name of the school that's at Collington. That's where I went to.
Mm-hmm.
So Collington is in the region near to Trout Hall. So if you go to Trout Hall and look up on the hills to the north, that's where Collington is. It's about 2,000 feet above sea level, and it's close to the Bullhead Mountain Range. So those of you who studied about mountains of Jamaica, that's close to the Bullhead Mountain Range. That's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm. And
before
before you continue, though you're from Collington, I can't recall meeting anybody else from there. But Collington, with the courtesy of
Yeah.
Deacon and
Mhm.
Sister Johnson, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Produced the most awesome set of boys.
Ooh.
No,
Oh my.
seriously, from Ronnie, Tad,
Yeah.
Glen, Eddie.
Mhm.
All four of you are just so exceptionally gifted in your own
Wow.
areas of discipline. And a lot of times people might say, oh, Sister Deacon and Sister Johnson, four boy them, but they wouldn't, they wouldn't understand if they paid attention and
Yeah.
observed, you know, how you've all blossomed into your
Mhm.
own giftings. It's amazing. Now, I coined you as, you know, pianist extraordinaire because growing up in Penance, when I came to Penance and as I'm growing up and so on, you know, you were already playing in
Yeah.
church. You were playing the piano in church, but it wasn't so
Mm.
easy getting there.
No. So I am going to go back to Carrington and let you know what happened. Is that my parents were unable to conceive, and so they prayed and asked God, just like Hannah, if you would give us children, we'll give them back to you. But my father had already had two daughters before he got married. So at age 38, that's when Ronnie was born. When my mother was 38. Then at 40, I came along. And then at 42, Todd came along. That's one we call Ivor.
Yes.
And then at 46, Eddie came along.
Man.
So God bless her with four boys. Now the thing is, she never got formal education because she had to take care of her mother. So, you know, she felt the call of God on her life. And when my grandmother passed, then she gave a part of the property to build a church. And she got men from the community and then built what we call a bamboo church. I don't know if you know wattle,
Yes, ma'am.
bamboo wattle. Yeah. So that was what the church was made up of. And so we grew up right there at that church in the house of the Lord. Let me tell you something. They used to have wattle and daub with the, they used to take mud and put it on the bamboo. But this one didn't have any mud. I think we couldn't even be so poor we couldn't even get the mud. Oh my goodness. Yes, so it was just pure bamboo. And the seat in that church was made of just piece of board. You know, the sawyer man would cut the board and they put two pieces of bamboo on the sides and put the board on the middle, and that was our seat in the church. So we actually grew up in church, and so we didn't have a choice. We couldn't run around anywhere. We had to do the work of the Lord. But it's right there and then in that church when I was about between 4 and 5 years old, I realized I had a passion for music. I just love music. So I decided I'm going to be playing in church from that age. So you know what I did? I got like a bamboo joint, 2 bamboo joints at that tender age.
Can you
And I
figure
would
that?
use a knife and cut the skin of the bamboo, trying to make a guitar out of it. So the neck, the upper part of the bamboo joint was the neck, like the neck of the guitar, where you put the strings. And then the skin now were the strings. And I would put a piece of wood at the top to lift up the strings, and a piece at the bottom.
Okay.
And that was how I started playing in church.
Lord
And the
have
people
mercy.
couldn't hear my music, but trust me, God heard
God
my
heard
music.
your music. Oh,
Yeah.
my word.
So-
Amazing. So take us now. So, yes, you started there, but how did you start playing at church when I met you?
Right. Okay, great. So one day, my mother just told us all of a sudden, look, we're all moving to Penance tomorrow. I said, what? Penance? My goodness, we couldn't believe we were so happy. Just the day before. So the truck came up to Collington, and we packed up all of our stuff and went to Penance. Lo and behold, this big house. We never seen that because we only live in a two-room house in Collington. And at that time, my father was already gone to England, and we were just there. So we went down to Penance. My goodness. For the first time, I saw a bathroom in a house.
Oh,
And I
goodness.
been inside the house.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was a new experience for me. But then my music passion started to grow. And then I realized I could use fishing lines now to make a guitar for the strings. So I would get a sardine can, empty sardine can, and put it on a piece of wood, put some corned beef, screws on it, and therefore I make my little music off that.
What?
But still, nobody could hear my music. So then, I don't know if you remember a man called Brother Bertie.
Yes, man.
Yeah. So Brother Bertie used to make a ukulele. And my mother asked him to make one for me. Oh, yeah, no. That was when the music really started. And he just showed me how to play a couple of chords on that, and I started playing my ukulele. Now people started hearing me. And I started playing at church and go around to Morgan's Pass and Chapelton playing my ukulele. But then, after that, my father came home from England, and he bought an organ, those pump organs, the one that you pedal. And I said, I am going to play you. I don't care how difficult it is, I'm going to play. And I got on the organ, and I started fooling around with it. Till my mother still have to tell me, boy, turn off my light and go to your bed. And to me, I turned off the light, but I wouldn't go to no bed. I was out there practicing in the dark. So that's why I could play with even my eyes closed.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I went to Kingston and bought some books, and that will help me up with my, with
Rave with us.
Come rave with us.
The Weekend
The
Rave.
Weekend Rave.
The Weekend Rave. The newest trendy hip hangout spot on radio.
Fridays 6 to 8 p.m. Saturdays 4 to 8 p.m. on Linkage Radio.
101.7 and 104.5 FM. With Booker Chromatic.
Jimmy Q from Echo Vibe Sound and DJ Wizzy.
Tune in for the latest in entertainment news, the hottest songs in dancehall,
Hip hop,
reggae,
soca,
and
and more.
more. Plus,
my goodness, we had a time in church. I don't know if you know when I was playing guitar.
Yes, because you even started teaching me the guitar, and for the life of me, I couldn't learn the thing. Could not learn it. I don't know why.
Wow.
My fingers just didn't understand nothing. I didn't. Yes, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
I remember.
Yeah, and so that's how I met you, because we were right next door. You grew up
Yes.
with your grandma, which is Mother Roots. Oh, my goodness. What a family.
Yes.
I was like, two families. We were just
We were
church,
close.
ardent church people. Mother Ruth would
Yes.
have you all in prayer meeting. I could stay in my room and hear every prayer meeting that you all have in the morning. And we were over there keeping our prayer meeting every single morning as well. My goodness. So
Yes. Wonderful.
God really took us from a mighty long way.
Wonderful times.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so in essence, you're self-taught until
Right.
you got to the next level, right?
Right.
Until you got to the next level. But while you were in Penance, how did you end up at Frankfield teaching and doing what you were doing?
Okay. So what happened is that I was at John Austin School. That time, C.C. Harris was the principal. But that man would beat and beat and beat and beat. You had to learn. If you don't learn, you're getting a whipping. And I tell my parents, I am not staying in John Austin. So I decided I am going to Morgan's Pass. And of course, you know, Morgan's Pass is about a 3-mile walk. If you go on the main road, if you go over the hill walking through the bush, the cane field and stuff, it's going to be much shorter. So I decided I'm going to Morgan's Pass. So I went there. The teacher was Mr. Brown and the principal. And let me tell you, every single morning I had to reach there in time because he played the piano, but he only read music, and I could play by ear. So he allowed me to play by ear. And I did pretty well there. But then I left and went to Frankfield. I passed my exams for Frankfield, comprehensive. So I went there, and there I met up with a physics teacher from England, because we call him Skip, but his name is Dennis Bernard.
Skip. Yes.
So he saw me with this guitar one day, and he came by and said, "Man, you play the guitar?" I said, "Yeah." Then he was a hippie.
Remember
and
him
he
well.
come to Jamaica to get, you know, to have some of that fun, to teach and enjoy Jamaica. So he said, "Let's form a band, man. I have instruments." He's a top-class drummer, a real jazz drummer. And he told me, "Man, let's form a band together." And we started to form this band called Sonic Salvation, Salvation Through Sound. And we worked that band. This girl from the school named Grace Nelson.
Yes, remember Grace. Yes.
Yeah. And she was the main singer, and the band got so popular, we went all over Jamaica. And that's when I was still in high school. So when I left high school, I wasn't sure what to do. And at the same time, the Prime Minister, Michael Manley, introduced, what do you call it now, National Youth Service. So I said, I'm going to be, before I make up my mind as to what I want to do, because I was a cadet, I wanted to go in the military. I love medicine, so I wanted to go to UA. And I love music, so I wasn't sure which one. So I say, okay, let me just take the National Youth Service, taught and teach for 2 years. Then by that time, I'll know what I want to do. And that's how I end up having you in my class, my grade 6 class.
I was telling them that you taught me.
Yeah, no wonder you come out so brilliant, girl.
You know. Lord have mercy.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So at the end of the 2 years, I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but by then I had become a pretty good musician. And Skip now decided one day, you know what, let me take you to Kingston and sign you up for Jamaica School of Music. I said, okay, all right. So we jump in his car and we head to Kingston. And we sign up. They give me some kind of test, did the test, passed it with flying colors.
Yes.
Yeah, I came back home.
We were so happy when you came over the house and told us that you were gonna go, and Mama was just elated because my grandmother was, so ahead of her time, really.
Right, because my parents weren't too happy with that.
They were not.
No, because they tell me now, look, you go and do music, you're going to end up playing with Bob Marley.
We know
I
that.
said, no, it's not going to happen. So they told me, listen, you can do what you want, but anything happen to you out there, don't even try to come back here.
Yes.
So they talked to pastor with Papi.
Yeah.
Papi said, I'm not for this, Brother Glenn. I'm not for this at all, at all, at all. But then I said, you know what? God is all over in this. If it's not His will for me to go into music, He will do something to stop it.
Absolutely.
Right. So I took the time and went to Jamaica School of Music. Now that's where the problems start, because I had saved a little bit of money, and listen, in the first month of staying in Kingston, all of my money got finished. Every penny was done. So I had to basically live on oatmeal for the next 2 months. And at the end of the term, they had a student concert. And I had to call my friend Skip up in Clarendon and tell him, man, I need to borrow your guitar because I don't own an instrument. And I have to play for this concert. So he managed to get the instrument to me. And let me tell you, I was doing, my main instrument at the time was piano, but I was studying, trying to finish up my guitar as well. So at the student concert now, I had to play this song called Mr. Bojangles.
Yes.
Yeah, and I went on stage that day and opened up that guitar, and I played like a maniac. My first 2 notes, I played. The principal was Pam O'Gorman at the time, a German lady. She jumped out of her seat screaming. I could not believe that, because she's a classically trained person, and this is more like a pop song I was playing. Let me tell you, the next day she called me into her office. She said, I never knew you could play music like that. Do you want a job to teach? I said, yes, ma'am, I want a job.
Right.
She hired me right on the spot. Yeah, so I was able to teach some of the people in my group, and I was making some money at the same time to pay for my schooling. And I never looked back. God just kept opening door after door after door, so I didn't get to go back. I didn't have to go back to Clarendon. And then in the process, guess who I met? I'm talking to Mother Ruth. And listen, my mother don't live too far from you, That's how I ended up
living at Chichi.
living at Chichi. Oh, Blanche took me in.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
That's
So
my
you see,
great-grandmother.
all the conflict. My goodness.
My great-grandmother. That was Chichi was Chichi was one of those stopovers, Anybody rolling through stopped by her. Yes, that's how you ended up at Chichi.
That was on Eastern Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah, off Hope Road. Yeah, so I stayed with Chichi until I finished school. Wow. And let me tell you something, those were good years. So while I was studying at School of Music, then Bishop Moss, who was at the time the overseer for Jamaica, he's from Nassau, and he came down to Jamaica to be the national overseer.
And for
prophecy. Yeah.
And Glen, just to let our listening audience and viewers know, so you're talking about the Church of God of Prophecy.
Right. Right. We're talking about Church of God of Prophecy. Yes. He came down, and he heard about me somehow. And the man just heard me that I was studying music, and he appointed me national music minister for the country. And at the same time, by then I was the Grace Thrillers actually recruited me at the time. Actually, before the Grace Thrillers got me, I was with another group called Insight. I don't know if, but most people will remember Insight.
Yes, yes.
There we had met with Tony Hutton.
Tony Patrick.
Tony. Tony and I were real good friends from we were little boys, you know.
He so wanted to be on this evening, but he has rehearsal, so he wasn't able to. And
okay.
And Patrick, the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, so it was myself and he and Patrick Kitson, Lloyd Geddes, Dennis Haynes, sax player. So we were playing all over Jamaica, and at the same time I was studying, and then they got the appointment, and then right after that, Grace Thrillers came and said, man, we need you. So I went to Grace Thrillers, left from Insight and went to Grace Thrillers. And so that's where all the music exploded. That was, by then, that was 1978, going into 79.
And, listening to how it all began, God had this for you, Glen. Every time, even in my family, when we talk about you, we would just say, Glen is just shape out for this thing. That's all we can say. Because when you play, do you remember one year at the National Convention for the Church of God of Prophecy at the National Arena? It was during the healing session. And you were playing, Glen, and the anointing came down in that arena. People bolted literally out of the stands, running to the altar while you were playing.
My goodness.
We've never forgotten that.
No, my goodness. Yeah, God has used me in so many mighty ways. Oh, my goodness. You see, because I was totally sold out to God.
Yes.
So I just told him, whatever it takes, just use me in whatever way. There was no money in it for me, but I just gave what I had to God to be used. And so, the church benefited a lot, and then at the same time, I was working so much with Grace Thrillers because I was a MD, that's a musical director. At the time, I was also the chairman for the group. I was the one who did the music arrangements, vocal music, and we the musicians kind of work all the instrumental arrangements together. At that time, that was when Grace Thrillers was.
Grace Thrillers.
Grace Thrillers. We
remember.
God used that group mightily.
Yes.
All over. Until we did our first tour in 1981. Because we really wanted to expand our horizon. So we were playing all over the country, from one parish to the other, one town to the next. Sometimes for the week we did like 3 different performances over the country, plus television, recording, studio work, and all kind of things were going on.
Yes.
And God was using us in a mighty, mighty, mighty way. And at the same time, not a penny coming in. But, God was blessing.
So let's talk about, so you were very involved in the Grace Thrillers, but also let's talk about how you got to the Bahamas.
Okay. Let me just put in one thing before I got to the Bahamas. While I was at Jamaica School of Music, I was with a group of guys like Dean Fraser.
Right.
He was in my batch. Then you have Nambo, the great trombone player who died. All the guys from Third World and Fab Five, we were all there together.
You mean at School of Music?
At the School of Music, yeah.
Oh, okay. What?
Yeah, they were in the African American division, and I was in music education. Yeah, but we were all there. We knew each other, you know. So up to this day, when we meet, we just reminisce about our old times.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. I didn't know that. And
We were all there.
Today, these
together.
guys are, you know, masters at what they do, and you're a part of that. So,
Oh, yeah.
yes, you're all in good company. So,
Right.
Bahamas, because, you know, I do know from your bio that, you know, you have also worked with Winans and, you know, a few other people to mention. So I will just let you go to the Bahamas and then walk us through.
Right. So one day, while I was at Grace Thrillers, a call came in from the Bahamas. He said, somebody want to talk to me, somebody from the Bahamas. I said, I don't know anybody in the Bahamas. They say, yeah, well, I went in and got the phone. They said, this is Sister Mary Benedict from the Catholic Education Board in Nassau. We heard about you, and we want to know if you're interested in a job in the Bahamas to teach music. And at that time, I had just finished School of Music, and trust me, I was really tired because I was doing a full-time job in Grace Thrillers, doing a full-time job teaching at Denham Town, because by then I was teaching at Denham Town. Yeah, high school. And doing the prophecy work at the same time. So I was tired. I was drained. And I told him, yes, because I want to just get a break and go through and spend a little time outside of the country just to catch myself. So I told the group I'm going to be leaving for a while. And they said, okay. And it's sad for me. They're really sad that I was leaving at the time. But I told them, you know, I'll come back shortly. I'll just spend 1 year and come back. Let me tell you something. Before I left.
1 year times.
Yes. So it so happened that the day before I left, my mother was in the hospital, and I was going to leave this Sunday. She died Saturday. Yeah, but on her dying bed, she told me, I don't care what happened. Leave Grace Thrillers and go. So I took her advice, and I went. And somehow they just pay my way back to come back for the funeral. So I went back again and started working. At the end of the year, I was ready to come home, and they said, where are you going? No, you can't leave.
They want to hold on to you.
Yeah, you have to spend some more time with us. The children love you, and the school was so beautiful. It was right overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Just cross the street and you're in the ocean. Beautiful with that crystal clear water. Oh my goodness! And the kids were lovely. Most of the kids were from the upper class of the Bahamas, you know. So all the the top people in the Bahamas send their children there. So, you know, I was in pretty good company, and I was really making progress. And I was doing a show, Christmas shows, Broadway type material, and so they really, really loved me. So they were not having me leaving. So that year, I said, okay, I'll stay for 5 years then. Okay, 5 years came up, and they said, no, sorry, you cannot leave. And I had to stay there until 1999. But during this time, I was still working on music in Jamaica. So I remembered a girl who sang in the
Choir.
mass choir, the prophecy mass choir,
Right.
named Lorraine Williams. So I looked her up, and I told her I'm writing some songs for her. So I wrote all these songs, recorded them, then invited her up to come up to Nassau so we could put her voice and teach her the songs and finish recording her. So, yeah, that gave birth to the album Persuaded.
And that is
So
a perfect segue. That's a perfect segue, Glenn, because
Yeah.
I think that song is special to you, ladies and gentlemen.
I serve a mighty God who reigns in heaven above, in majesty supreme. So long as I'm on His side, my life is surely guide, and I am persuaded God will see me through. If you're a child of God, you may be tried by fire, by the powers of this world. But like the Hebrew boys, you'll be defended by your God, and I am persuaded He will see you through. I am persuaded God will see me through. I'll never doubt I'll only trust Him. He's special.
Glenn, this was one of the hits of the day.
Yeah.
This song, a lot of people today still love this song. So guess who is listening now? Wayne Palmer.
What?
So hear him now, no.
All the way, wow. All the way out there on, where you live again?
So here, no, he's in
Hi,
Arizona.
Wayne.
He's in Arizona. Hear him now, no.
Arizona, right. No, I call it Arizona.
I hear that. What him said now, Winston O'Connor is from Killington, Brother Bertie with his banjo.
Yeah.
And number one at School of Music with Glen. Wayne is just silly. He's just silly. Let me just also tell you who is listening, some of our very own people also from Penance. So you have, so your daughter Marsha is on. Hey, Marsh. Then you have Princess. Princess,
Wow.
yeah, Princess is on. She's in Canada. Then you have Serene, right? Yes, Serene is also on. There's also Heidi Stubbs.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, she's from the Bahamas.
A friend of mine from Kingston, Andrea, she is on as well. And of course, Wayne him with his, There's someone here, Junior Doug. I'm not too sure who that is. Tanya K. Herman Golding.
Herman, okay.
Yeah, she's
Wow.
on as well. And Sally's on too.
Okay. Great.
So you
Well, a good evening to all of you. And thanks for listening in.
yeah, so these are the Penance people, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I'm here with Glenn. And to my other friends who are always tuning in to the program, Pat and Aldith and, Even Valerie from Chapelton, Valerie Grosset, is on now and says she loved that song as well. So
Wow.
we're wrapping up soon. It's 20 minutes to 8. But yes,
Wow.
so in
Where did the
total,
time go?
how time goes by. But in total, how many years did you do in Nassau?
That was from 1985 till now. That's 35 years.
My word. Okay. I would have loved to
35
say,
years.
I would have loved to say as young as I am, but I'd be fooling myself. Right. But we want to mention also that you are married to our beautiful Norda, and you have 3 children, right?
Yeah.
You have Glenice, you have Marsha, and you have Glen. And
Right.
just give us a little background about the people who you accompanied, artists such as, Dr. Ron
Yeah, I've been
Canoli and
here in the Bahamas. I work with a group called the Gospel Impressions. They call us the GI guys. So from time to time, there was a time when we used to have a lot of big concerts here where the American artists would come down, and so my group would do opening acts for all of these. Shirley Caesar, the Winans, Mom and Pop Winans. I actually played for them. Hezekiah Walker. Commissioned. And all those people, we did the opening acts for all of them. And, of course, the one that I got to play for was the mother and father of the Winans.
Yes. Awesome.
I did live for them, yes.
But did you not play at Carnegie Hall?
Almost got there, but we didn't get. It fell through.
It fell through.
It fell.
Yes.
Yeah, last bit.
But tell me, how do you feel about your journey as a musician? You have taught, you've seen people, really get sucked in, locked in to your mastery, how they have been able to go on their own. I am still stuck at, I can play a little bit. I'm not going to lie, I can play a little bit, but I know if I had really put a lot of effort into it, I would have been way better. But Wayne, we were in your class. Remember when those instruments were bought for the Prophecy Church in Penance?
Right, because what happened at that time, I did a concert. I had invited David Keane. Right, so we did the benefit concert to buy the instrument. So that's how it worked out. After the proceeds from the concert, we were able to purchase the instrument for Penance, the band instrument.
Oh my, we were equipped. I started learning the clarinet. The clarinet,
wow.
That's how, remember, even Junior and Danny and Wayne.
Yeah.
We were all in Marvette. We were all in the music class. Danny's an exceptional drummer.
Oh, yeah.
He's still
and it was
drumming.
really good.
And Wayne is playing his keyboard very well. And his boys along with him.
Amazing.
Yes. So, many of us, I can pang, but I can't tell nobody I'm no great player.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but you really have opened up our minds to the world of the chords and the harmony, because even for voice, I keep saying it. A lot of people don't know I can sing, because since I come here, I'm not singing like that. But you groomed us that way. You taught us how to, the parts, how to listen to notes and to really sing and sing well, and sing well. So you have touched many lives with your experience, your fingers, and, when you touch the keyboard, it cries out to people.
Blanche used to say I made the keyboard speak in tongues.
And then we would tease Chichi that by the time Chichi ended up playing a song, we don't really know what the song is, right?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
My great-grandmother, God bless her soul. But my grandmother certainly encouraged you. Your parents finally settled into it, I know that there were people who felt like, it's a whole worldly thing, and you would have gotten sucked into that, but certainly you maintained your character and the character of God.
Right.
You know,
Right.
as you moved through your journey in life with your musical abilities. And so we want to thank you, Glenn. And, you know, you're there in Nassau right now. We wanted
Yeah.
to do the FaceTime thing, but certainly we'll do that at another time. I'll send
Right.
that out so we can talk about so much more.
Oh, yeah, there's so much more.
So much more to share.
But to everybody who is listening from here, Lady Heidi, that's my choir director. She works with me at the church, yes, New Covenant Baptist Church, and all of the Wayne and George and all the people who are listening. I'm just wishing you all the best for this new year, and I'm going to be continuing to let God use me to minister to his people until that time comes for us to go.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping when we are going to schedule our next meeting on the other platform that you'll be able to do a live play for us.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
I'd like
I'll be able to. I'll be happy
yes,
to do that.
We can do that. And, you know, get the place on fire. Let people see how people play. Right? But I had a great time talking to you. And as a matter of fact, as much as I knew of you, there were bits of pieces that I didn't know. As a matter of fact, Serene and Princess were on here in awe of some of the things that they were hearing. And what you have done for the first time and what have you. So, you know, it's always good to bring our legends to the fore. You remain relevant. Some of them are still in the foreground. They've not been able to roll over into this digital age and so on, but you have remained relevant, and we thank you for the foundation that you have laid for us and your persistence, because you knew what you wanted to do and you went ahead and did it, right? So I want to bless you.
God for that.
And thank you so much for joining. And everyone on the chat, you know, is saying blessings to you and your family and all of that. Even Garnet is on.
What?
You know Garnet. And
Yeah, I know
Rollin.
Garnet.
And
Yeah, the
Rollin.
maestro himself.
And Rollin is on as well. I haven't seen Rollin in a long time. And
Rollin is on?
yes, he says he and Garnet listening.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am impressed. I am impressed.
Yes, so
Wow.
we thank you so much for all our lives that you have touched. And again, your children are just as gifted. So I'm looking forward to some great
I tell
things.
Marsha when I grow up, I'm going to be just like her.
Oh.
And Wade, oh my goodness, my nephew Wade.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Notwithstanding, Tad is a really good player.
Oh yeah.
Your brother Tad, you know, Tad is good. But when I see Wade, I'm like, this is a Glen all over. Wade is amazing, and he goes all over the world.
Right.
And
Right.
plays. Wade is amazing. So, you know, it's in your blood. You know, it's in the family gene. So it was so nice.
Exactly.
Thanks to everyone tuning in this evening to hear you and to reminisce as we went down memory lane with you this evening. So big up to Collington. Hello.
Yes, big up to Collington and Pastor Walters got saved on my mother's ministry. So you know Pastor Walters, right?
Which pastor?
Carlton Walters in New York.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from Collington.
Oh. Okay.
Yep.
Yes. And, you know, thank you, Glenn. Thank you. Sometimes, you know, we can get so accustomed to people doing things, and they're a part of us. And every now and again, you have to step back and say, hold on a little bit. You know, we need to have a conversation. And so I thought of you. I'm like, I need to talk to Glenn because... You know, most of us have grown up. We are pursuing our own disciplines and so on. But, you know, there was a time when you touched our lives. So we thank you.
Not a problem. I am grateful for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So blessings and my love to Norda.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And will do.
Yes. All the best.
All right.
Thank you for joining
So
me.
God bless you.
All right. Blessings to you too.
Okay, bye.
I serve a